And welcome back to the CBB Talk with Will Dickinson. And we had two slower days in college basketball, but we had three big upsets go down and four teams that are ranked losing, I believe four in my own personal rankings. I don't know if it was more than that in the AP poll, but five actually. Five teams going down because I forgot about a team that dropped out. So let's go talk about those games at first. The unexpected wins. One of them was Iowa State. That was not unexpected. Actually, Iowa State was underdogs going into this game against West Virginia. West Virginia needed this win. They're 3-7 in Big 12 play going into this one. They get this win against Iowa State. Calsher really struggles. It was Jaron Holmes leading the way for the Cyclones. Big game from Johnson, Matthews, both put up 20 in that one. West Virginia, that's a huge win to build a tournament resume. Really, I think going into this game, they were sitting either, I think, on the right side of the bubble, but some had them in the first four out. Some people had them on the last four in. And they got a huge home win in the Big 12. You got to get your home wins because on the road, it's going to be hard to win. Iowa State coming off a big win against Kansas. Took a tough L there. They have dropped to number 15 in my power rankings. That's 4 spots from where they were at on Wednesday at 11. Not too scared of Iowa State. West Virginia, this helps. It's going to be them and Oklahoma State will be battling out to be the 7th team in. If they can get 8 teams in, they both need to start playing and upsetting these better teams because it's going to be hard for me to see a place where Oklahoma State and West Virginia both make the tournament, but they're both getting good cases and getting huge wins these last couple days. Probably the biggest upset that no one saw coming was Tennessee on the road against their in-state rival, if you want to call it, Vanderbilt, losing 65-66 on a buzzer beater. So I had practice on Wednesday night. That's when the game was. I practiced on Wednesday night. I come home. I'm about to go in the shower, or I was going upstairs to get ready for my shower, and I look at my score. I'm checking the scores because I was at practice, and I see Vanderbilt was down 2 with 6 seconds left, I think, 5 seconds left. And I turned my phone. I watched that ending. And it was close to not going off, but he got it off just in time. Corner 3, big shot there for Vanderbilt to get a win. Good win for Jerry Stackhouse. This is Jerry Stackhouse's team. Tennessee, I think I had him in the right spot before. I didn't believe they were that good, and maybe I need to start counting in what I think of this team because I've been saying since the beginning, I don't believe in Tennessee's offense. I think I've been saying this on this podcast that their offense is not a good offense. And now you lose to Vanderbilt. I've dropped Tennessee to 11 because their defense is so good. 1 spot above Virginia because I think their defense is better than Virginia. They have better wins than Virginia. But their offense is where they're probably going to end up losing the NCAA tournament. And it could be a lot like other Tennessee teams that have lost in the first weekend of the tournament because it's not Rick Barnes, but maybe it is. It's just their offense this year is not like some other Tennessee teams in the past, and they don't have a go-to guy to give them buckets. Tennessee, hopefully, if you're a Tennessee fan, you're hoping for something different because these last couple of years, you've been a really good team, one of the best programs in the nation, and just don't succeed in March. And I could see it happening again this year after a tough L to take there against West Virginia. I mean, most teams got the big wins with Baylor, Alabama destroying Florida, Houston taking down Tulsa, Providence taking down Georgia Tech. So a lot of teams getting wins. In San Diego State, remember we said it was a big Mountain West game going at Utah State, and Utah State has not picked up a quad one win. I looked it down. I was like, shit, dude, they should not even be close to my top 25. You don't have one quad one win. You can't be in there. San Diego State picks up a huge one on the road in the Mountain West. They moved up number 20 in my rankings. They're the best team in the Mountain West. And that win definitely solidified it there. But these last 2 days have been slow, so this is really just going to be a weekend-focused pod. Purdue takes down Iowa on Thursday last night. If you're watching this on Saturday, Thursday night. Just got the job done. Wasn't worrisome, and this Purdue team's more than Zach Edey, man. They get the job done in a lot of ways, and this one was big from Braden Smith. We've been waiting for him to have an electric performance. He started off the year really well, and he hasn't had the big scoring outbursts that he's had in the beginning of the year. Fletcher Lawyer's really been the guy doing that. Edey's the third leading scorer tonight. Does his thing. We saw that Mason Gillis last week had a really good game. Had 9 threes. And tonight, Braden Smith puts up 24 points and Fletcher Lawyer had 18. The thing about Purdue is scary. Of course, they got the freshman guards. Everyone knows that can freshman guards that weren't highly talented high school players, people that came in as 5 stars, can they lead a team to be a national champion? We'll see, but they have a guy in Zach Edey that you can go to whenever you want. Good win from Purdue. Bounce back after that loss. Get it done on your home floor. And didn't have to worry about anything. FU got a little push from Rice in that second half, but they pull up and win by 9 to stay in my rankings right now at 22. The Friday upset, though, that everyone was talking about was St. Mary's after winning a game against Gonzaga. Everyone's talking about St. Mary's. Oh, they the best team in the WCC. Are they going to win the WCC outright for the first time since 2013? And they go into LMU. You can't walk into LMU, guys. LMU, who beat Gonzaga earlier this year on the road, now they come in and they beat St. Mary's at home to really give them a shot at an at-large bid in this tournament. I'm not saying that they will. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying it will give them a shot to make it if they can keep beating the teams they should beat. It's a tough L for St. Mary's. You're going on the road against a decent Loyola Marymount team. This team's the third best team in the WCC. They got the job done. St. Mary's, I've dropped them below Gonzaga because you got to look at that broader resume. I know I say it's not a resume-based list I do mine on, but sometimes that has to play a fact into it. And Gonzaga has better wins than them, and Gonzaga went to overtime on the road against St. Mary's. So I got them at 14. St. Mary's at 16. They dropped down 3 spots in the last game, and Johnson 31 and Mahaney 24, but a bad game from Saxon. Couldn't really get anything going. Schulten had 31 points for LMU. Good win for LMU, giving them a look to be an NCAA tournament team there. And then the last ranked team that's not ranked in the poll, but was ranked in mine was USC. I've been high on them ever since that win against UCLA. And then they got destroyed by Oregon on the road. And it's a thing if you lose by 2, you might stay in my mentions, but when you lose by 18 on the road to a team that's not going to make the tournament, that's just not what you want to see. If you lose a game by 2 against a team, you could slip up 4 or 5, but 18, that's not somewhere where you're slipping up. You got outplayed the whole game by a team that's not making the tournament. So I had to, take a step back on USC, drop them out of the thing. UConn was back in. Told you UConn was my first team out after that great Tuesday slate. So now UConn's in. So get off my tail, UConn fans. So that was really it, though. I saw that a big talking point is that the ACC is now ranked 7th in KenPom out of all the conferences, which is the reason is because, yes, the top part of the ACC is, of course, down. They don't have an elite contender like a lot of the other conferences do. Virginia's their best team, but I wouldn't say Virginia's a top 5 team in the nation, and they don't have a lot of perennial championship contenders. And people could have said that last year, but we got 2 teams in the Final Four, so you never know with the ACC. But it's really the bottom half of the ACC this year. Teams like Louisville, Georgia Tech, Boston College, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech's not good this year. Syracuse isn't good this year. So there's a lot of teams that just aren't that good in the ACC this year, and the lower part is what really drops them off. I think Pitt's good. I think Miami's good. I know Virginia's good. Clemson, not Duke, I think they're a good tournament team that can win a game or two. UNC, I'm not too sure on. But the bottom half of the ACC is really bad, and the Mountain West passed them because they're way more of a consistent of a conference. I take the top of the ACC over the top of the Mountain West, but the middle of the Mountain West, I'm taking over the middle of that ACC. The bottom of the ACC, I'm taking I'm taking the Mountain West bottom of the Mountain West over the bottom of the ACC, and Louisville is a real that's the reason why they're ranked over 300 in KenPom. So, or in the net. I think they're 300 in the net. So you're a bottom 60 program, around bottom 60 program. Louisville, one of the best ever, and you're a bottom 60 out of every D1 school. That's really bad. So I know this is a good time for college basketball to have more of a down the end of week because of, I don't know if this was on purpose, because of the NBA trade deadline that got everyone talking about all the different moves. Of course, Kevin Durant getting traded. I'm not going to give my opinions on that because this is not an NBA show. But these last couple of games haven't been great, and I think that could have been on purpose because of the NBA trade deadline taking all the news by storm. It's Super Bowl week. Everyone's focused on NFL and the NBA. But after the Super Bowl weekend to week 4, college basketball, which will be amazing. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to go preview this weekend's games. It's not as good as last week, but there's still some good ones out there. In my top 25 on Friday, there's 2 teams playing. You got Nevada hosting Fresno. That should be a dub. And Xavier going at Butler also should be a dub. But I guess a road game, you never know. But both those teams should win. Dayton plays St. Louis. Dayton's coming off a win against VCU. Can Dayton get 2 good wins this preseason A10 projected winner? Can they get back in? I don't know if they'll be in first place. Can they get back to being maybe the favorite in the A10? But Fridays are usually slow anyways, so I wasn't expecting much. But let's go look at Saturday. I really don't even know what's on Saturday. I just know there was not a lot of marquee games because I know the game day is going to Auburn to play games against Alabama. So I damn know there's got to be a better game than that. One sec. Sorry for the quick intermission. Someone came here. I was like, who is that? My dad. Anyways, so let's go look at Saturday. Marquette at Georgetown, win. NC State at Boston College, should be a win. Providence at St. John's, should be a win. Those 3 teams should win. We got a nice little bubble matchup, Penn State, Maryland at 12. Both those teams looking for a dub. Maryland, Penn State's probably not making the tournament this year. They've fallen off recently. Maryland still probably should have made the tournament, but it would be nice to get a dub here if you're Maryland. West Virginia going at Texas. West Virginia coming off a huge win against Iowa State. I expect Texas to win at home. They're getting a lot of time off since playing on Monday, so I expect them to get this dub against West Virginia, who is coming off shorter rest. Going through Saturday, the CBS game at 1 is Kansas at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's just, they're probably the second worst team in the Big 12. They're the second. What am I saying? They're probably. They are the second worst team in the Big 12 behind Texas Tech. So I expect Kansas to get the job done, but they have laid some eggs on this 1 o'clock time. We've seen them play bad against that TCU. They didn't play great against Oklahoma at home. Oklahoma State didn't play good, so hopefully they'll get that dub there. The ESPN one at 2, Alabama at Auburn. That's why I think game day's at. Auburn's been sucking. They've lost 2 in a row. At least 2 in a row. It might have been 3 in a row. Alabama dominated Florida in their last game. Expect them to get the dub here. Okay, the 2 o'clock game that's better than that one is Clemson at North Carolina. Both these teams not playing good recently. North Carolina needs a win, dude. They have been terrible recently. Mondo Baycott came out complaining. We talked about that last time. I expect North Carolina to get the win. They need it badly at home. Both these teams, I think they'll lose right now. I don't know if North Carolina is actually in the tournament as of now. I would say no. But the loser of this one would be out of the tournament for sure. Not out of it for good, but they would be out of it as of then. Especially Clemson if they lose this one. North Carolina. Actually, both those teams would be out of it as now. Clemson loses this one. I guess it wouldn't be as bad since it's on the road. North Carolina, you lose this one, I don't even think you're gonna make the tournament unless you got to make a big run in this ACC tournament. Going through. Rutgers at Illinois. Rutgers coming off a loss. Illinois had their game canceled this week against Minnesota, so they're coming off a big rest. They lost against Iowa in their last game. Expect a Illinois team to come out and get their revenge after losing last week. Rutgers need to get a win. Had a bad game earlier this week in their loss. Caleb McCollum struggled from the floor, so I expect that Illinois and Rutgers going to become playing better after both coming off losses. I think Illinois is going to get this one done, though, in Champaign. 2 o'clock on Fox. This might be the best game. We're going to have UConn going at Creighton. Both these teams playing way better recently. Both these teams started off the year really good. Of course, UConn started off the year 14-0. Creighton was in the top 10 to start the year, played really good in Maui. And then they both went on stretches where they looked like bad teams. UConn lost, I think, 4 out of 6 in a stretch there. They dropped out of the ranking. I don't know if they actually ever dropped out of the rankings, but they looked like they were going to. They've lost 6 games in the Big East. Creighton lost 6 games in a row this season. Again, 3 or 4 of them without Ryan Kalkbrenner, which would obviously is a huge factor. He's probably their most impactful player. But this one at home, Creighton, let's get this win. You'll be in my rankings. UConn, play them close, give them a battle. If you can pick off a win in Creighton, in Omaha, that would feel really good for a UConn fan to get a nice road win, which is not easy. They got the dub early this week against Marquette. See if they can get another one at Creighton, which is not easy because both these teams are hot as recent. And Creighton's looking like possibly the best team in the Big East, the way they've been playing the last couple weeks. 4 o'clock, TCU Baylor. Dude, this game, how is it at Auburn? TCU Baylor's a way. I don't even think TCU's that good, but they're better than dang Auburn. And Baylor's playing one of the best teams in the nation this year. Will Mike Miles be back is a huge question for TCU because they look like they need him badly now. They're on a 2-game losing streak. Baylor looking really good recently. Just blew out Oklahoma in their last game. Got to go on the road in Fort Worth. Not an easy place to play, but Mike Miles' health will be a huge factor. Without Mike Miles, I think Baylor gets this one. Here's a better game at 4. Duke at Virginia. Virginia's this screams a game that Virginia is going to lose. They've only lost 1 game at home this year to Houston, which is understandable. Understandable loss. Houston, one of the best teams in the country. Duke coming off a loss against Miami on Monday, so they're going to have a bigger break than Virginia playing on Tuesday. So it's not that much big of a difference. Virginia's coming back home, where they won against NC State. Can they go 3-0 against the North Carolina teams at home? We can see Virginia. It's going to have to go through Gardner, Beekman, and Kihei. They're 3 best players. I know Armor Franklin's had really good games. He has not been playing like that recently. We'll see if Dariq Whitehead will be available for this game because they're going to need him. They're going to need some offensive threats because Virginia's defense is really good. I expect more Caden Shedrick on this one because he matches up really good with Lively. He matches his defensive energy, and I think Lively is not going to be able to get his, offensive rebounds as much with Shedrick on there. So Virginia's going to have to play bigger. Duke feasts on offensive rebounds, and then the Roach-Kie Clark matchup will be really the biggest one of the night there. I think Virginia's going to get this one on the home. They play really well there. Duke just try not to lose 2 in a row. If Duke can get this win, that's a huge turnaround after that embarrassing loss to Miami earlier this week. San Diego State plays UNLV. That's an early tip in San Diego. San Diego just trying not to avoid not a good loss after winning on the road earlier this week. Going through. Indiana at Michigan. Michigan, get a win. Your still tournament hopes are alive. Lose here, not looking good. Indiana would definitely threat to get the 2nd seed in that Big Ten. Finish 2nd there, get the 2 seed in the tournament there. Would be nice. I expect them to do that. I think they're the 2nd best team in the Big Ten, but, Rutgers still always there. St. Mary's has to go at Portland. Not an easy place to play. I think that should be a win for St. Mary's, but just not an easy place to play. trying to avoid back-to-back losses. Like on the road, that's not one you want. Mississippi State, Arkansas, two teams that have not played great in SEC play, but Arkansas usually wins at home. Expect them to get the job done there. Oklahoma State, Iowa State is an interesting one. If Oklahoma State can pick off one on the road, I think they'll be firmly in the tournament because you're going into Ames. Iowa State hasn't lost there all year. I don't expect them to lose here after that, what they put on last Saturday against Kansas. I don't expect them to lose at home, but if Oklahoma State could do it, that would not submit their tournament chances, but that would give them really, really, really good chance for these last couple weeks of the regular season. Keep going through these games here. Wait, no. BYU Gonzaga, expect a Gonzaga win. That's really all on Saturday. And UCLA goes at Oregon. That's going to be a tough one. We saw Oregon did USC at home. Expect something similar to that against UCLA. I think UCLA is a way better team than USC. So I expect UCLA to pull that one out. But it could be an upset alert there from the number 7 team in the nation in the Bruins. Taking a look this Sunday. I love these Hawaii games always go at midnight because of the time difference. So it always says they're on Sunday, which is funny. Iowa at Minnesota, expecting that with Michigan State, Ohio State. This is Super Bowl Sunday, so I'm expecting the games to finish early. They do. That's really the only other one. Purdue goes at Northwestern. That could be a loss for Purdue. Probably not. Northwestern's not a bad team this year, though. And Michigan State needs to get this win against Ohio State because Ohio State's not a good basketball team this year. And Michigan State, I think is a good basketball team this year, and they should make the NCAA tournament. But you do not want to pick up a loss at Ohio State, who's lost 9 of their last 10, something like that. So they're just not playing good at all. That's it. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it a lot. I just saw who has the longest win streak in the country. I'll let you get a second answer. Okay, it's Eastern Washington, 14 in a row. So shout out to the Eagles? Some sort of bird. I don't even know. I think it's the Eagles. And then shout out to Oral Roberts, who has the second longest at 9. So shout out to Eastern Washington. Shout out to you for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Peace out.